Diesel. What's Esther? The one and only Ray Kelley. Yeah.
Thank you, Ethan Hyatt. Hello, and welcome to my TV show on the YouTube network with a potential audience of over 2 billion people.
That's correct.
2 billion. Coming to you live from the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica.
2 billion and growing.
That's right. 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, where I am peacefully protesting and advocating for the homeless here in Santa Monica and in Los Angeles County and in California and the whole US of A. The whole wide world, if we could do something about it. Well, we have to start somewhere, so we might as well start right here in Santa Monica, California, this very wealthy city of Santa Monica, California, that is doing a terrible job in abusing human rights right here in Santa Monica, California. Isn't that a shame? A very wealthy city like Santa Monica, supposedly a progressive city, committing human rights abuses every day here in Santa Monica. Criminalizing poverty and homelessness. That's a shame. Putting people in jail for sleeping while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor. That's why they're arresting a lot of people for doing that. They're depriving people of a right to sleep. You are exactly right, Ethan. And that's why in the Grants Pass versus Johnson ruling handed down by the Supreme Court, Chief Justice Sotomayor, in her dissent of Grants Pass versus Johnson, said that to keep people from sleeping is cruel and unusual punishment and goes against the 8th Amendment of our Constitution. And yet, Santa Monica is going right along with Trump's ultra-conservative Supreme Court and criminalizing sleeping for homeless people. It's criminalizing sleep for human beings because they are poor and homeless. Someone asked me what I'm in for. I said, sleeping while being poor. Someone said, what you in jail for? I said, sleeping while being poor. How you doing, Ernest? Good to see you, Pete. Good to see you. Someone asked me what I'm in jail for. I said, I'm in jail for sleeping while being poor. Someone asked me what I'm doing in jail for. And I said, I'm in jail because I was sleeping for being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. Hey, yeah, I got to think through this song, but it's something like that. Someone asked me what I'm in jail for. I said, sleeping while being poor. That's right. Someone asked me what I'm in jail for. I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. You must have done something more. I said, no, I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. That's right. Someone asked me what I was in jail for. I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. You see, I'm homeless and I was trying to get some sleep. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. They said, you must have done something more. I said, no, I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Someone asked me what I was in jail for. I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. Someone asked me what I was in jail for. I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. They said, well, you guys must have done something more. No, I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. I ain't got no place to live. I ain't got no job. A lot of people say I'm just a worthless slob, but I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. They said, oh, what are you in jail for? And I said, I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. A lot of people say, well, you must have done something more. No, I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. They all asked me, hey, what you in jail for? I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. They put me in jail once more for sleeping outdoor while being poor. A lot of people say, well, you must have done something more. I said, no, I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. The rich man, he don't worry if he sleeps on the grass. But if you're a poor folk, you better scurry or the police will pick up your ass because you were sleeping outdoor while being poor. You were sleeping outdoor while being poor. A lot of people said you must have done something. They must have done something more. They were just sleeping outdoor while being poor. That's all they were doing. They were sleeping outdoor while being poor. And that's what they're arresting people for in Santa Monica, California. Can you believe it? And we need to stand up against that kind of human rights abuses. And that's why I'm running for Santa Monica City Council. Did I mention that tonight? Not yet. My name is Kelley, and I am running for Santa Monica City Council this year to stand up for human rights. Thank you. Yes, we all need to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica because they're arresting people for being poor and homeless. They're arresting them for sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Everybody says, well, they must have done something more. No, they were just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Everybody says, hey, what you in for? I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. That's what they're arresting people for here in Santa Monica. And that's why we need to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. Because they're criminalizing poverty. They're criminalizing homelessness right here in Santa Monica, all around California and many other places. They're criminalizing poverty. And we should be moving in the other direction, Santa Monica. We should be building affordable housing and making sure that everybody can have the basics in this richest, most powerful country in the whole wide world, in this fourth largest economy of the whole wide world, California, in this very wealthy city of Santa Monica. And we should be raising taxes on the rich. We need to raise taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the billionaires. That's right. We had an election yesterday, and we don't know yet if Tom Steyer is not going to be on the ballot in November. They're still counting counting ballots, and they may be counting ballots for the next 30 some days. But hopefully Tom Steyer will be on the ballot because he is the only Democratic candidate for governor who endorses the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. That's right. A lot of people say, well, we can't raise taxes on the rich because Trump's in power. We can right here in California. There's going to be a Billionaire Tax Act on the ballot this fall. and we all need to get behind it. And the amazing thing is that none of our Democratic candidates for governor beside Tom Steyer were for the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 here in California. We need to tell all of our candidates to get behind the Billionaire Tax Act. How are you doing? Good to see you. Peace. How are you doing? How are you doing? The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. So I hope Tom Steyer gets on the ballot because he endorsed the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, and he was the only one who would do that. And you know, I really hate voting for a billionaire, but if he's the only one who is going to raise taxes on the billionaires, then I have to vote for the billionaire this time. So we need to make sure that somebody raises taxes on the rich here in California, because we are the fourth largest economy of the whole wide world, and we don't have to wait for Trump to be out of office to raise taxes on the rich. And if you are criminalizing poverty and homelessness instead of building housing, you're heading in the wrong direction. Santa Monica, you are heading in the wrong direction. It doesn't take a Harvard graduate to know that Santa Monica is moving in the wrong direction. This city council is actually worse than the last city council, the one that Phil Brock was on. Phil, you gotta love Phil. He's always smiling and happy, but he's trying to get rid of the poor people and the homeless people as he's doing it. And that's not what we need, because they're arresting poor folks for being poor and homeless. They ask me what I'm in jail for. What?
That's morally wrong.
That's morally wrong. You are right, my friend Ethan. You want to say something to these people? Huh? What they are doing is immoral. I agree with you, Ethan Hyatt. They need to stand up for human rights. That would be the moral thing to do, instead of criminalizing people for being poor and homeless. They asked me what I'm in jail for. I said, sleeping outdoors while being poor. They said, what are you in jail for? I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. Oh, they said you must have done something more. I said I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. Good night, Ethan Hyatt. Thank you. Good to see you. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. They said, hey, boy, what are you in jail for? And I said, I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. That's right. They said, oh, you must have done something much, much more. I said, no, I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. Oh, they said, you must have done something more. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. They said, you must have done something more. And I said, I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. Everybody said that guy must have done something more. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Now the rich folks, they can fall asleep on the grass. But the poor folks, you better scurry around your ass, because if you get caught sleeping on that park, you can be put in jail. What for? What for? What for? Sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. The judge asked me, he said, what are you here for? And I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. Everybody said he must have done something more. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Now, the moral of this story ain't got much more. It's very simple, what I have in store. And I'm just telling you about something not much more than sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. Yeah, I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. Everybody said, hey, he must have done something more, but he was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. He was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Oh. Thank you. That's right. We got to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica, California. And that's why I'm running for Santa Monica City Council this year. Because I want to stand up and say, listen, instead of criminalizing poverty and homelessness, let's build some housing. Let's have some safe spaces for homeless people to go to sleep. Let's have some 24-hour secure public restrooms for homeless people to use instead of trying to arrest them for defecating and urinating, which are kind of human necessities, human bodily functions that happen to people. And if you don't have a restroom to go to in the middle of the night here in Santa Monica, you're liable to want to find someplace in an alley or in bushes, and that's not the right place for human beings to have to go. And we need to have more showers for people here in Santa Monica, more public showers, secure public showers for people to keep themselves clean, and help lift people out of poverty instead of criminalizing poverty and criminalizing homelessness. Because we have way too many people being put in jail. You ask me what for, I say they were put in jail for sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. People said, hey, buddy, what you in for? I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. People said, you must have done something more. I said, I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. That's right. Here in Santa Monica, they have expanded the anti-camping law because of Grants Pass versus Johnson. They have expanded the anti-camping law to include anybody who has a blanket or a pillow. Well, they don't even need that. They'll find some reason to arrest or give citations to these people just for sleeping in the park. But if you have a blanket and a pillow, you are breaking the law while you're sleeping in the park or on a sidewalk, or you're breaking the law. You're breaking the anti-camping law right here in Santa Monica, and that is a shame. That is a shame that we've let it get to that place. You know, the Grants Pass versus Johnson ruling concerned the city of Grants Pass, Oregon, as well as all of these states and cities under the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And the Supreme Court said that now everybody can criminalize homelessness in their states and in their cities. But the state of Oregon, as a revoke, as a way to keep people from being cruel to human beings that are homeless, the state of Oregon passed a law restricting these cities from how much of this Grants Pass versus Johnson ruling they could use. They said you have to have objectively reasonable laws in your city. And they said that you have to have a certain number of beds for human beings to sleep in before you can criminalize and give citations and arrest people for being homeless. They did that in Oregon. We could do that right here. We could change the law right here in Santa Monica and say, we understand that the Supreme Court said you can criminalize homelessness, but we don't have to criminalize homelessness here in Santa Monica. That is a choice. That is a choice to criminalize homelessness here in Santa Monica, and that's a cruel and inhumane choice. And we need to tell our leaders here in Santa Monica, and that's why I'm running for Santa Monica City Council again here in 2026. Because not only has this Santa Monica City Council followed that criminalization of the homeless human beings under our anti-camping law, they have expanded it to different places around the city. And you can't sleep in your car in Santa Monica without breaking the law here. That's right. If you're sleeping in your car right now in Santa Monica, you are breaking the law in Santa Monica. That's how they've made it here in Santa Monica. They just want to make it harder and harder on homeless people. They want to blame the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless. So they're creating this situation by not building affordable housing or having shelter beds. There are no shelter beds available in Santa Monica tonight, just to let you know. I check every time I go by to pick up my mail at the People Concern. There are no shelter beds available in Santa Monica. But they'll put you in some drug rehab program over in South Central, even if you don't have a drug problem. Or they'll do something like that. They'll put you in jail. There are some cities that let you stay the night if you pay to stay in jail. What a pleasure. What a treasure for some of these cities around the South California, Southern California. Pasadena and places like this will let people rent a cell in their jail for the night if they have a clean record. Well, thank you very much, but I think we could do better than that. Some people say to me, they say, well, these people that are going to jail, these homeless people they're putting in jail, at least they have food to eat and they have a place to sleep. No, that's not an alternative. Get it out of your heads. That putting people in jail is not an alternative to housing. It is cruel and inhumane. And it also costs more than housing human beings. You could rent rooms in hotels and not spend as much as you do putting somebody in jail. Here in California, we spend between $127,000 and $132,000 per year on each incarcerated person. $130,000 a year on each incarcerated person. That is amazing that people would rather push poor people into jail than make sure we have enough affordable housing. We need to keep working on building affordable housing because we haven't gotten there yet. That's right. Hey, what's your name? Harper. Harper birthday. Harper birthday to you. Harper birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy Harper birthday to you. Hey. You're welcome. Take your piece. Hello, Dorian. How are you tonight? Can I give you? Doing all right? Can I give you something? Peace and love. All right, stand up for human rights. Stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. That's right. You're welcome. I'm having a good night. Yeah, everything's all right. How about you? Peaceful day?
Yeah.
Anything fun? You want to say hi to the people?
Yes.
This is Dorian, our friend Dorian. She comes by once in a while. Did you see yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Anything new? Fun today? Anything good? Are people treating you all right?
Yeah.
Did you drop that, Dorian? Um, I guess time for a new bag pretty soon, huh? Or are you doing all right with it?
Yeah.
I'm going to see if we'll see what we can do. But any news about anything? Anything you want to talk about? Okay. You're gonna get some safe sleep somewhere?
Yeah,
Oh, wonderful. That's great to hear. Good to see you, Dorian. Peace. That's right, because we have the city of Santa Monica refusing to build affordable housing, and they are criminalizing poverty and homelessness. They're criminalizing people public sleeping. That's right. They don't want to see any poor people. They don't want to see any poor people on this public promenade. And let me remind you all, this is a public promenade. This is not Disneyland. This is not the Grove. And if you are homeless and you want a place to sit on these concrete slabs around the topiary here, the dinosaur topiaries around there, they are exempt from the no sitting, no lying law here in Santa Monica. That's right. There's a no sitting, no lying law here in Santa Monica, as well as an anti-camping law. They just want poor people just to get out of this city is what they want to do. And they're right next to our public beaches, you know. We have 800 miles of public beaches here in California, and mostly rich white people living next to our public beaches. We got to change that. We got to work towards a better day. We got to keep integrating. We haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten to a place where we have equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. We got to keep speaking out for the rights of human beings to be able to exist. And especially as we move further and further into this technological age, where more and more of the jobs are going to be done by robots and artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligentsia, we need to stand up for the rights of human beings to have the basics. A decent place to live, food to eat, health care, and a good public education. We need to raise taxes on the rich. We need to raise taxes on the rich. Raise taxes on the rich. And I know you say, well, we can't raise taxes on the rich while Trump's in power, but we can right here in California. That's right. We're the fourth largest economy of the whole wide world. We need to stand up and raise taxes on the billionaires here in California and spend more money on public education and on health care. And of course, I hope we spend more money on building affordable housing. But we keep working at it. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. That's right. And we need to tell whatever Democrat gets on the ballot for November for governor of California, we got to tell that candidate, you better get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. You better stand up and make sure that you raise taxes on the billionaires here in California. That's a 5% wealth tax on all of the billionaires here in California. And we have the most billionaires of any state in the whole country. Some people say, well, if you raise taxes on the billionaires, they're all going to leave the state. And I said, bye-bye. If you're the kind of billionaire who doesn't want poor people to have the basics, you should move to another state. If you are the kind of billionaire who is satisfied with poor people sleeping in the streets while you are having space races, you probably better move to another state. We need to stand up for human rights right here in California, right here in Los Angeles County. right here in Santa Monica. Because we're blaming the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless, while government is bringing on these problems by not building enough affordable housing, not spending enough money on public education, and not spending enough money on health care, and making sure that everybody can have a decent life in this richest, most powerful country in the world, in this fourth largest economy of the whole wide world, California. We have too many of our leaders blaming the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless. They say, don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor at all. We'll pull a chair beneath your seat and mock you when you fall. We'll tell you that you're crazy and you're on the drugs. We'll say you're mostly lazy and you're filled with bugs. So don't be poor and homeless. That's what they say. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just be rich. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and sick. They'll put you in the hospital and spit you out real quick. They'll say you need to rest more and change the way you eat. But they ain't got no medicine to get you off of the streets. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just live in a mansion. Yeah, that's what you got to do. All the rich folks want to help you if they could. So they'll take your tent and your bags and stuff and move them to another neighborhood. A little farther, a little farther, a little farther down the road would be good. That's how they used to do it. They used to just tell people to move their stuff further down the road. Go down the road a few blocks. Go down the road a mile. Now they take all their possessions and they say, fit everything you can in a 60-gallon bag. Fit all of the belongings that you want in a 60-gallon bag, and we are going to throw away the rest of your possessions because you're poor and you don't deserve to have anything. So you have to fit all of your belongings in a 60-gallon bag, and we're going to throw away all the rest. And that is cruel and inhumane. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't live in your car. They'll find a way to ticket you no matter where you are. They'll say you're near a schoolyard or near a city park. They'll make you move your car all day and give you tickets while you're sleeping in the dark. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just live on a yacht. You got to get yourself a yacht. Hey, Ernie, you got to get a yacht for your yacht. You know what I mean? A yacht to put your yacht in. You know what? You're just in your up to your neck in water. I'd rather condo. You don't want a yacht. All right, we'll get you a condo, Ernest. Good to see you. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't live in your car. They'll find a way to ticket you no matter where you are. They'll say you're near a schoolyard or near a city park. They'll make you move your car all day and give you tickets while you're sleeping in the dark. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just live on a yacht or a mansion. Everybody wants a mansion. All the rich folks want to help you if they can. So they'll start a race to outer space to help their fellow man. We're going to build affordable housing up on Mars. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor at all. They'll pull the chair beneath your seat, mock you when you fall. They'll tell you that you're crazy and you're on the drugs. They'll say you're mostly lazy and you're filled with all kinds of bugs. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just be rich. You gotta be rich. Don't be poor and homeless. Just be rich. That's right, homeless people. Just be rich. We got to send all the homeless people to a Tony Robbins seminar. That's what we got to do. Let me tell you, people. Let me tell you, homeless people, how to make money. You know, there are a lot of people say to me, these homeless people just need to get a job. A lot of these homeless people do have jobs. I talk to them all the time. A lot of people have jobs, or intermittent jobs, or did I say intermittent? Intermittent jobs, not intermittents, but they have jobs, some of them. A lot of them I've talked to have jobs now and again, but they can't afford a place to live. They still can't afford a place to live just because they have a job, especially a low-income job, a minimum wage job. You're not going to be able to get an apartment here in Los Angeles County with a minimum wage job. You got to have 3 months rent. You got to have, here in Santa Monica, you can't get any kind of apartment with a minimum wage job here in Santa Monica. You better forget it. You better just say, no, I can't. I'm going to sleep on the lawn there. That's what I'm going to do. Sleep in the park. So they asked me what I'm in for. I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. I'm sleeping outdoor while being poor. They said, you must have done something more for the police to take you. And I said, well, you know. They said, hey, what you in for? I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Everybody said, you must have done something more. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. The police came and took me to the jail. You know, I didn't have no money to pay no bail. They moved me and then they booked me and they sent me out. And now I have to walk all about, you know. And they came up to me and put me back in the clink, and I said, hey, this makes me think. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor. You know what I mean? The rich folks can fall asleep on the grass. But if you're poor, you better move your ass, because they'll get you for sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. I just started working on that song, so I'm going to be playing around with it. Yeah. As you true. How are you, sir? Good to see you, Chris. I get by. I do okay. You know what I mean? Thank you very much. Good to see you. All right. Well, peaceful day for you. Do you want to tell us about your adventures here in Santa Monica a little bit?
Sure.
This is Chris Forrest, otherwise known as
Jack Sparrow.
Juan Sparrow.
Juan Sparrow is cousin. Hello, Santa Monica. Yeah, I've noticed that there's been a lot of police presence, and I am not a bad pirate. And I respect the authority, I appreciate the security, but they don't have to harass people for sitting down or talking or hanging out. It's like, we're free. I mean, I can get a job anywhere if I wanted to, but I choose to be the pirate's life for me. And so I'm free. And I want them to leave me alone.
Pirate's life for me. Oh, pirate's life for me.
Oh, pirate's life for me. Oh, yeah.
Pirate's life for me. Thank you, Jack Juan Sparrow.
Yes, sir, you're the best.
Captain Jack Juan Sparrow.
Yeah, this guy's awesome too.
Good to see you. Yeah, we met earlier. Mari and
Jacob.
Good to see you guys. What's happening? So I'm running for Santa Monica City Council again this year because we need to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. That's right, because they're actually arresting people for sleeping out in public. Homeless people, poor people, and they're refusing to build affordable housing. So we need to help them move in a better direction and speak out.
And veterans too. They're veterans.
Well, the veterans should have a place over. I mean, they should already have housing for the veterans, top of the list.
And the elderly.
And the elderly, and of course, any child and anybody.
I'm voting for you.
Well, thank you. I hope you register here in Santa Monica if you can. And want to say anything, guys?
I want to say, he's a great,
City council.
He's a great city council, and I think honestly everybody should vote for him because Trump is like a little iffy, It's not really for the people, more for the rich and the poor. We're gonna look out for like most of us low five. Go vote.
All right, thank you. It's in November. So where are you guys from? What do you do?
We're in high school.
You go to San Luis? Oh, great. I play basketball with a lot of your friends. Well, good. Spread the peace and love. All right. Have a good one. That's right. We got to continue to spread peace and love, even as we're peacefully protesting and advocating for change. How you guys doing? Good to see you guys. Thomas, Frederick, good to see you guys. Have a great night. Peace. Even as we are advocating for change, we need to keep peacefully protesting, keep standing up against violence, stand up against any violent protests. There's always some hotheads that want to use violence to make positive change. That ain't the way to do it. We all need to peacefully protest, get involved, and stand up against racism and hatred whenever you hear it, whenever you see it. Shout it down, speak out. Speak out against anti-Semitism, speak out against anti-Muslim talk, against any hatred spread because of somebody's religion, race, religion, ethnicity, belief, gender, whether they're rich or poor. We need to stand up for the rights of human beings. Because that's what this country is all about. This country is all about peaceful protest and standing up for the rights, standing up for your rights and standing up for the rights of others. It's about peace, it's about love, it's about the only thing my heart needs thinking of. It's about love, it's about peace. It's about a little bit of love and peace at least. Cause when the peace and love are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about peace. It's about love. It's about hope. It's about joy. It's about bringing some home to little girls and boys. It's about joy. It's about hope. It's about enough hope to keep them off the dope. Cause when the hope and the joy are gone, you know, must be moving on. It's about joy. It's about hope. It's about you. It's about me. It's about you and me working towards equality. It's about me. It's about you. It's about saying Black Lives Matter too. Cause when you and me are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about you. It's about me. Se trata de paz, se trata de amor, se trata de paz y amor. Se trata de paz, se trata de amor, se trata de paz y amor. Se trata de paz y amor. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yeah. Evenu shalom alechem, Evenu shalom alechem, Evenu shalom alechem, Evenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. It's about peace, it's about love, it's about the only thing my heart needs thinking of. It's about love, it's about peace. It's about a little bit of love and peace at least. Cause when peace and love are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about peace. It's about love. One more time, everybody sing. Here we go. It's about peace. It's about love. It's about the only thing my heart needs thinking of. It's about love. It's about peace. It's about a little bit of love and peace at least. Cause when the peace and love are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about peace. It's about love. 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 What it's all about. Love. Hey, hey. That's right. It's all about peace and love. Spreading it around a little better. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy in this country. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. There's no reason for poor people to be sleeping in the streets while rich people are having space races. We can do better than that. And we need to tell our leaders, we don't have to depend on their kindness. We need to tell them what to do. We need to tell our leaders to raise taxes on the rich. Raise taxes on the rich. Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. Yeah, the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. That's right. We don't have to depend on the charity of the rich. We need to make sure that they pay their fair share. And if poor people are sleeping in the streets while rich people are having space races, we got a bad business model there. We need to change our business model, and we need to raise taxes on the rich. That's just a simple, that's a simple thing. That's a simple start to the problem. Then you have to actually follow through and make sure that you keep the fraud from blooming and taking over all of the taxes. We gave our Governor Newsom, we gave him $24 billion to build affordable housing. Where's the housing? Instead of building housing, he criminalized poverty and homelessness. If he runs for president, please don't even talk about putting him in the White House. He's been such a terrible governor. Instead of building affordable housing and helping end this housing crisis, he has criminalized poverty and he has criminalized homelessness. And that is just a shame. We need to stand up for the rights of poor people, of homeless people. See the people living in the street, ain't got no money, ain't much to eat. They're not too proud to take your crust of bread, to look for some place to lay their weary heads. What's the problem that brought them here? The story's long and it isn't very clear. Some roads lead to the street, just looking for some place to lay their tired feet. I ain't saying they ain't done wrong. I ain't saying it didn't help to bring it on. I'm just saying there must be somewhere they belong, and they're looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. That's right. So many people are just looking for a place to sleep tonight, just a safe place to sleep. I hear people say, well, these homeless people, they're all drug addicts and they're all mentally ill. Well, it doesn't matter if somebody has a mental disability or a substance abuse disorder. We need to help them have some stability. It's only going to get worse if you leave them out in the streets, you know. Now, there was a Rand Corporation study. They're supposed to be thinkers. They're supposed to be smart. And they said that instead of the number of homeless people going down in Los Angeles and California, it's just more people being pushed out of tents, tearing down encampments, and more people rough sleeping. They call it rough sleeping. That's when they just sleep in a sleeping bag out in the middle of nowhere or on a cardboard box or something like that. That's rough sleeping, and it's rough living. And it's not a good way to get a decent night's sleep. It's actually cruel and inhumane and goes against the 8th Amendment of our Constitution, as Justice Sotomayor said in her dissent of Grants Pass versus Johnson. But they ruled for it, and now people are criminalizing poverty, criminalizing homelessness, and we need to realize that these people are having a rough time because not only are they being thrown in jail, they're being harassed at every corner and threatened with arrest or citation. So it ain't easy for them to get a job. And you know, if you have people harassing you all the time, it might make you want to get high, do drugs. I know a lot of people who do drugs that have places to live, and they're doing pretty well. You know, a lot of my friends have done some of those. They do some of the gummies. They do some of the gummies. They smoke some of the pot, and they still have a place to live. So it's not just a drug problem, homelessness. Some of these people would be fine if they had a decent place to live and they could get by and start working on a little stability. And I have seen the way that it has helped people that used to live on the street. My friend Ethan Hyatt, he lived out here on this promenade, sleeping on cardboard boxes and such. For 11 years, he slept out here on this public promenade. And sometimes he would be harassed, and he would always have to wake up. He would always not get enough sleep. He would wake up around 4 or 4:30 or 5 and go and get on a bus and try and sleep on the bus while he went downtown to check his storage stuff and see what was in, you know, because they didn't have any place for him to store stuff here in Santa Monica. So he made his address downtown LA. They're trying to push more and more of the homeless people. They want to push all the homeless people to Skid Row or to other parts of LA that are already inundated with poverty and crime. They want to push all the poor people into one area. And that's not the way to integrate a society, is it? That doesn't work. Then you're just going to have poor sections of town and rich sections of town. And you're going to have a lot of people of color in your poor sections of town, and mostly white people in your rich sections of town, because we ain't gotten equality that much yet as far as money goes in this country, or anything. We still have to work on. Blah, 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 blah. We still have to work on equal rights in this country because we haven't gotten there yet. It is still 10 times more likely for a young black man to go to prison here in California than it is for a young white man. And it is still 40% of our schools here in California, 40% of our public schools have 90% of the students of color in California. 90% of the students of color in California go to 40% of our public schools. The other 60% have only 10% of the people of color, students of color. So that means we've got a lot of segregation still here in California. And we have to keep working toward integration because we haven't gotten there yet. And, you know, even though Black Americans make up 5% of the population here in California, they make up 30% of the homeless population here in California. That's right. And also the Latino population here in California, it's a majority, but we have more Hispanic and Latino people that are homeless than white people here in California by a larger margin. And you know, the fastest growing demographic of the homeless population is people over 50 years old. Old people like me. I'm 66 years old. And a lot of people are becoming homeless after they retire because they can't afford to live here in California anymore. And we need to find a way for old people like me to be able to have housing. Now, I'm on a senior housing list right here in Santa Monica. And I found out that I may be one of 3,000 or I may be one of 900 on the list, depending on which list they put me on. If I'm one of the preferred Santa Monicans or the other ones, I don't know. I still don't know. I'm not really sure if I'm even a citizen here in Santa Monica by some people's definition. Even though I've had my address here for the last 5 years, there are some that might say, well, you never lived in Santa Monica, so how could you? But I did, but I was homeless, but I didn't sleep on the streets right here. Homeless people deserve a right to belong somewhere. And Santa Monica doesn't even want to take responsibility for any of its homeless population. They're happily taking responsibility for their rich citizens. Oh yeah, those citizens are ours. But the homeless people, they don't want to be responsible for. They said, no, those people came from somewhere else. All those poor people, all those homeless people, they're all from somewhere else. We're not responsible for them. I even asked the head of the new director of Housing and Human Services here in California, Santa Monica, California. The new director of Housing and Human Services here in Santa Monica, California. I asked that director, Aileen Reynolds. Well, everybody says that the homeless people come from everywhere else, but how many homeless people should Santa Monica be responsible for? How many homeless people should Santa Monica take care of and build housing for or find shelter beds for? And she said, well, I'm going to have to get back to you on that. And I still haven't received an answer. After 2 weeks of waiting for an answer, no, actually a month. After a month of waiting for an answer from the Director of Housing and Human Services here in Santa Monica. We still don't know how many homeless human beings Santa Monica is counting as its residents, counting as its responsibility. So we need to speak up because they just want to push the poor down the road and they don't want to take any responsibility for any of the poor or homeless here in Santa Monica. They're happy to take responsibility for all the rich people. Oh, they're ours. They're ours. Oh, we love them, but not the poor people. They say, see the people living in the street, ain't got no money, ain't much to eat. They're not too proud to take your crust of bread. Just look for some place to lay their weary heads. What's the problem that brought them here? The story's long and it isn't very clear. So many roads lead to the street. Just look for some place to lay their tired feet. I ain't saying they ain't done wrong. I ain't saying didn't help to bring it on. I'm just saying there must be somewhere they belong. And they're looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. And we could help them. We could make sure that every homeless person here in Santa Monica had a decent place to live, food to eat, health care, and a good. Huh? How about this? What the world needs now is love, sweet love, you know? It's the only thing.
Hey, keep doing it. Hey.
Just too little love. Thank you, peace. Spread the peace and love. Speak out for those in need. Speak out for those who don't have a big voice in our democracy. Speak out for those who are. We need to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. Thank you, peace. We need to tell our leaders here, stop criminalizing homelessness and start building affordable housing. Because we're blaming the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless while we're bringing it on. All these homeless people living in a ditch with all these empty buildings and tax cuts for the rich. I ain't saying you have to do good, but why don't you try letting the homeless people move in to your neighborhood, Santa Monica? Look for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. Sweep them out your doorway, tear down their tents. Gonna keep on coming if you keep on raising rents. I ain't saying you have to do good, but why don't you try letting homeless people move in to your neighborhood, Santa Monica? Looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. All these homeless people living in a ditch with all these empty buildings and tax cuts for the rich. I ain't saying you have to give, but everybody has got a right to live, and they're just looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. You can sweep them out your doorway, tear down their tents. Gonna keep on coming if you keep on raising rents. I ain't saying you have to do good, but why don't you try letting homeless people move in to your neighborhood, Santa Monica? Look for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. Don't need your swimming pool, don't need your king-size bed. Just looking for somewhere to lay their weary head. that they're looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads, and we could help them. We could make sure that everybody who needs a place to live has one here in this richest, most powerful country in the world, in this fourth largest economy of the whole wide world, California, in this richest, most powerful, in this very wealthy city of Santa Monica. You know, I believe that the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative, it won't be on the ballot this year. I don't think it's going to make it to the ballot this fall. The Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something everyone should hear about. It's a initiative that would build 3,000 units of housing on the Santa Monica Airport property, 25% of the Santa Monica Airport property when it is turned over to the city at the end of 2028. That's 192 acres of land that is going to be turned over to the city of Santa Monica at the end of 2028. And I am the only candidate so far who would use any of that property to build some affordable housing. The rest of the candidates, when I spoke at this Wilmont neighborhood forum a few weeks ago, the rest of the candidates said, no, it has to all be a great park, just 192 acres of park, nothing else but park and things and recreation and recreational buildings and blah, 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 blah. They probably want to have a golf course there for their rich friends and push all the poor people out. But we need to tell them, no, use some of that great park to build some affordable housing, 3,000 units of affordable housing. Because, you know, we have only about 1% of the firefighters local here in Santa Monica. Only about 1% live in the city of Santa Monica. A very small number of our first responders here in Santa Monica live in the city of Santa Monica. That is a bad recipe for disaster, isn't it? And it also makes for a bad democracy. When you don't have too many of your people that work in your city, living in your city, that makes for a bad democracy. That's kind of an oligarchy, having only the business owners participate in your democracy. That's what they call an oligarchy. And we need to make sure that we stand up for the right of people to get involved in their city democracy. And that's why we need to make sure that we make it easier for a lot of these people who work in Santa Monica to be able to live in Santa Monica. So we need to get that, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. Let's get it on the ballot in 2028. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. Let's get it on the ballot in 2028. That would be great. Oh, the Great Park. I guess they're going to need to get a lot of signatures. And there's a lot of people in Santa Monica that, I'm sorry, they're just selfish. Santa Monica, you know, the population of Santa Monica in 1970 was 88,000 people. Today, in 2026, the population of Santa Monica is just over 90,000 people. So while the rest of California grew by 20 million people, the population of Santa Monica grew by just over 2,000. They said, we got ours now. Stay out, all you people. Get out, you poor people. We're going to have rich people and tourists. And they live right here on our public beaches. They profit off of our public beaches. They've made a nice profit off of our public beaches. Hey, the city of Santa Monica is going to have concerts, and they're going to be renting out the pier to ESPN, and they're making all kinds of money off of our public beaches, and yet they're pushing the poor people down the road, and they're criminalizing poverty and homelessness right here in Santa Monica. Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey, ain't got no runny nose. I got some shoes on my feet so I can run down the street. Don't need no funny clothes. I got down in my hair. I got a life without care. I got Julia and Mama gonna ride. Ain't got no hurries, no worries. Ain't got no blurry eyes. I got the sun on my face. I got some wide open space. Don't need no alibis. I got down in my hair. I got life without care. I got Julia and Mama gonna ride. Ain't got no seasons, don't have no reason to need no freezing rain. I got the surf in the sand, my rock and roll one-man band. Don't ride no gravy train. I got down into my hair, I got a life without care. I got Julia and Mama gonna rock and roll. Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey, ain't got no running nose. I got some shoes on my feet so I can run down the street. Don't need no funny clothes. I got down in my hair, I got a life without care. I got Julia and Mama, Julia and Mama, Julia and Mama, go. Her I got oh, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. That's right. We got 800 miles of public beaches here in California, and mostly rich white people living next to those public beaches. There is no reason for that. We need to keep integrating. If you push all the poor people out of your city, you're going to push a lot of people of color out of your city. And that's what has happened to Santa Monica over and over. They kept pushing the poor people down the road. Now we have most of the city segregated. Most of the people of color living in the south side of Santa Monica, but the whole city of Santa Monica is segregated because it's very rich. It was on a list as the second most unaffordable city in the whole country just recently. We need to build affordable housing. We need to use some of that Santa Monica airport to build 3,000 units of affordable housing on 25% of that Santa Monica airport property. That would be a good start. That would be a start in the right direction, a step in the right direction. But nobody wants, they don't want affordable housing here. I'm still waiting on this property over here on 4th Street. It used to be a parking structure number 3. They've been talking about building affordable housing there since 2018. And it is 2026 right now. And supposedly they are going to start building, affordable housing, a 122 unit affordable housing complex there at the end of 2026. We shall see. Right now it's pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Because the poor, homeless people don't need a front door, they need pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Pickleball for the poor. Poor folks don't need no more than pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Oh, we're not going to let them play, but they can watch from far away and dream about that happy day when they can earn enough to pay to play pickleball. How you doing, Seth? Things good? That's right. They say at the end of 2026, they're going to break ground over here on 4th Street, where the parking structure number 3 used to be. They're going to break ground where they have pickleball courts right now and build some affordable housing. We'll see it. We'll believe it when we see it. Right now, it's pickleball for the poor. Poor folks don't need no more than pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Pickleball for the poor. Homeless people don't need a front door, they need pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Oh, we're not going to let them play, but they can watch from far away and dream about that happy day when they can earn enough to pay to play pickleball. One more time, everybody sing along. Hopefully I'm not going to sing this. Hopefully I'm not going to sing this pickleball song too much longer. Hopefully at the end of 2026, they will have broken ground over there where they have the pickleball courts, and they will start building that 122 unit of affordable housing, even though the business owners here in Santa Monica have sued the city about building any affordable housing next to their businesses. Oh, it's bad for business to have poor people and homeless people near where we work. Our businesses only need rich people, that's what they say. They don't even want poor people here on this promenade. They don't want any homeless people on this public promenade. They don't want the public on this public promenade. They only want rich people that'll bring them a lot of money. That's what they want here on this public promenade. We have to keep reminding these business owners, this is a public promenade. It belongs to all of us. And get out here and peacefully protest. Share your thoughts, share your beliefs, and take advantage of our public promenade, because there are very few places like this around the country. And we need to stand up for our rights to peacefully protest and exercise your First Amendment rights on this public promenade. Because too many people would rather use this as just to make a profit, and they would just like to get rid of the poor people altogether. That's what they would like to do. But we have to keep reminding them it's all right. How you doing tonight? Getting by okay? All right. Good to see you. Peace. Because they just want to build pickleball courts instead of housing. Pickleball for the poor. Poor folks don't need no more than pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Pickleball for the poor. Homeless people don't need a front door, they need pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Well, we're not going to let them play, but they can watch from far away and dream about that happy day when they can earn enough to pay to play pickleball. Hey! That's right. So hopefully that's what they told us at this Measure GS Resident Oversight Committee meeting the other night here in Santa Monica. I'm on this Measure GS Resident Oversight Committee. And boy, it has been frustrating. We've been meeting for a year, and there are 4 members that have been there the whole year, and then there are others, I don't know, maybe another 4 that have joined in the last 6 months or so. And we've actually done nothing. I think the only money that's been spent out of that Measure GS fund, which is a 5% tax on all of the sales, property sales over $8 million, it goes into this Measure GS fund. So I've been trying to persuade them to build some shelter beds, but you can't use the money for shelter beds or temporary housing is what they're telling me, only for permanent housing. And anyway, I'm learning a lot as I'm being on this, as I have been a member of this committee, and I'm sure I will learn a lot more. But the other night was especially frustrating for me. I wanted to tell the members that we need to stand up for human rights, and that's why I'm running for Santa Monica City Council. But once I mentioned that I am running for Santa Monica City Council, they said, no, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about that. Well, that's part of what I am talking about, is that I have to run for Santa Monica City Council because the City Council has done such a terrible job, and we have done, as a committee, a terrible job of getting them to do anything and build any affordable housing and use the money. There's $24 million sitting in one part of the account to use for affordable housing. And that's not going to build a whole project, but they certainly need to get it going to use for something. We ended up putting the money in a housing trust fund that will just be there if the city council ever decides to do anything. But this committee doesn't want to speak out in any certain direction to use that money. The only other money that's been used has been for a program to figure out people that might be evicted or might lose their housing in Santa Monica. A program with an algorithm of some sort to figure out if people might be losing their house and they might need money. There's a lot of people out there on the street right now that do need a house, do need housing, and do need money for housing, and they should find some way to use it for that, because we are also paying for the manager of the homelessness prevention and intervention part of the housing projects. And I don't know, if you're going to pay for a person to manage the homeless prevention and intervention, then you should probably spend some money on building some interim housing. But I can't run everything. I'm just speaking out. I'll just keep speaking out. And that's why I'm running for Santa Monica City Council, because this city council has done a worse job than the last city council. They've expanded the abuses of human rights in the city of Santa Monica against homeless people. And that is the wrong direction. We need to be working to stand up for their rights and to build more affordable housing, to find safe spaces for these homeless people to go and to spend time in, whether it be a little section of the beach or a section of some, they used to have some programs in some of these parking structures that weren't being used at night to help people sleep in these parking structures late at night, pitching tents and things like that when these parking structures aren't being used. There's all kinds of solutions, and that's the problem. They don't want to work towards solutions. They'd rather criminalize the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless. And we can do better than that. We can move to a better day. We can stand up for human rights. How much does it cost to live? How much do you have to pay? How much should you have to earn to live for one more day? And how much does it cost to live before your life has worth? And tell me, how hard should you have to struggle to survive in the richest, most powerful country on the face of the earth? How much does the rich man want? How much does he have to keep before he can say it's okay for poor people to sleep? How much do the greedy want for poor folks to eat? And tell me, when will we see the end of the day, when human beings have to sleep in the streets? How much? How much? How much? How you doing? Good to see you. Peace. How much does it cost to live? How much should a person have to earn every day just to get by in this richest, most powerful country in the world? We got a lot of people getting by just because they were born rich. They don't have to worry. How about those people that were born poor and have a hard time right now, or having a hard time finding a decent place to live, food to eat, health care, and a good public education? How about those people? How much should they have to earn every day just to survive in this richest, most powerful country in the whole wide world? How much does it cost to live? How much do you have to pay? How How much should you have to earn to live for one more day? How much does it cost to live before your life has worth? And tell me, how hard should you have to struggle to survive? How hard should you have to struggle to survive in the richest, most powerful, most abundant country on the face of the earth? How much does the rich man want? How much does he have to keep before he can say it's okay for poor people to sleep? How much does the greedy want for poor folks to eat? And tell me, when will I see the end of the day? When will I see the end of the day? When human beings have to sleep in the street? How much, how much, how much, how much, how much, how much? That's right. How hard should we make it for human beings to survive in this country? There's some people that believe if you don't have money, you ain't got nothing. If you ain't got money, you don't deserve nothing. There are many states around this country that believe if you're poor, you don't deserve health care or a decent place to live or food to eat or a good public education. And we need to show them that California can make a difference. We need to show them that California stands up for progressive government and the right of people to be able to survive, even if they're poor and going through hard times. Human beings are not just about the amount of money they can create, the amount of money they can change hands with, the amount of currency that they can produce or sell, the amount of flim-flam they can shim-sham to the next ham. Because human beings are worth something just because they're human beings. You're not less than because you don't have $1 billion. I'd say you're a little more than. That's right. We're not just valued by the amount of money that we generate, the amount of money that we create. We all have a right to participate and live and celebrate each other. Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate me. Let's celebrate all the different ways that we can be. Let's celebrate love and life. Let's celebrate every day that we can stay away from war and strife. Let's celebrate hope. Let's celebrate joy. Let's celebrate all our lovely girls and boys. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. So let's keep working towards a better day. Let's keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. We don't need to give up. We don't need to say, oh, we can't do anything because Trump's in power. We're all doomed. No, don't give up. We've been through hard times in this country before, even in my lifetime. And I've only been alive 66 years. But I remember in the 60s, things were pretty bad. And we've had other rough times. The Iraq War was no sweet riot time. And this country was divided and a lot of people weren't listened to as we were marching in the streets. But we've gotten through it. And we got to keep getting through it. And we got to keep standing up and telling people that here in California, we can change things. We can make things better. I hope Tom Steyer gets in, but if not, we need to get Becerra behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. And they asked me what I was in for. There was sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. The judge, he asked me, "Hey, son, what are you in for?" I said, "Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor." Everybody said, "You must have done a little more." I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. 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 Everybody said, "Hey, what you in for?" I said, "Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor." All the rich folks, they can sleep on the grass, but if you're poor, you better move your ass. Rich folks can sleep on the beach. Peach, sleeping outdoor while being poor. 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 People said, "Hey, what you in for?" I said, "Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor." They say, "You must have done a little bit more." I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Hey, hey, oh, what you in for? Well, I said, I don't know. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Hey, what are you in for? Well, I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Everybody says, "Well, you must have done something more." I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. I'm going to keep working on that song. I got a little ways to go on it, no doubt, no doubt. But we just keep moving forward, keep working towards a better day. Because we haven't gotten there yet. We need to keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. We got to make sure that everybody can have the basics in this richest, most powerful country in the world. Decent place to live, food to eat, health care, and a good public education. No child should have to suffer through a bad education in this country. Not right here in California peace. Yes. We need to stand up for the right of every child to have a good public education. And speak out for the right of every child to have a decent life. Come on, we can do better. Right now, we spend about $130,000 per year on every incarcerated person, and we spend about $20,000 per year on every student. We can do a lot better than that. Let's keep working towards better. Didn't mean to stay so long. Just thought I'd finish up this song and call it a night. I got some notes wrong. I'd like to get some right. And by the way, did I mention I'm running for Santa Monica City Council? My name is Kelley, and I want to stand up for human rights. Didn't mean to stay so late. I just thought I'd celebrate. Even if the party's not that great, and most of my friends are gone, but I keep on dancing. till the music ends. Yes, I'll keep on dancing till I dance with you again. Yes, I'll keep on dancing till the night is through. Yes, I'll keep on dancing till I dance again with you.
Sir, you famous? How many people? You're alive?
I got about 1,400 people. No, I just got a few people. Sometimes I have about 1,000 altogether.
I thought you were famous.
I am running for Santa Monica City Council. If you're a little young to vote here in Santa Monica so far, but I hope you get involved. We need to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica because they're arresting people for being poor and homeless. And they're not building affordable housing. And we need to stand up for everybody's rights to have a decent place to live, food to eat, health care, and a good public education.
Yeah.
And we'll keep working, standing up for human rights. Thank you. Peace.
Have a good night.
You too. Yes, I keep on dancing till the music ends. Yes, I keep on dancing till I dance with you again. Yes, I keep on dancing till the night is through. Yes, I keep on dancing till I dance again with you. Didn't mean to stay so late, but you know I like to celebrate, even if the party's not that great. Holla tonight, equal justice and equal rights. Equal justice and equal rights. And I keep on dancing till the night is through. Yes, I'll keep on dancing till I dance and go with you. Yes, I'll keep on dancing till they roll me out the door. Yes, I'll keep on dancing till I can dance no more. Yes, I'll keep on dancing till everybody
let go of you. Didn't mean to stay so long. Just thought I'd finish up this song and call it a night. Peace and love.